A Victorian-era Batman faces off against Jack the Ripper in Gotham by Gaslight, the latest DC animated movie. It's based off the classic storyline by Brian Augustine and Mike Mignola. My name is James. I'm from the Nerd Room, so today we're going to be reviewing this film and we're going to see how it matches up with the original source material and see the other parts that don't exactly match up. So stick around and enjoy. Okay, so let's talk the book before we talk about the Blu-ray. Okay, so it's originally conceived by Brian Augustine as what if Batman, the world's greatest detective, had to face Jack the Ripper, and could he find out his identity and all that? It's the first Elseworlds book ever by DC Comics. Elseworlds, by the way, is a format in which they take familiar heroes and put them in unfamiliar scenarios or environments. Obviously, the Victorian era Batman, as opposed to the modern day Batman. So, anyways, Brian Augustine was dead set to have Mike Mignola do the drawing for it. So he gave him an initial pitch. He said no, but wore him down eventually as he explained what he wanted to do and gave him part storyline, and Mignola gave some more additions to the storyline, and before you knew it, you have the book. So the book itself is a very dark, mature read. It's focused more on the detective work instead of the Batman daring do. If you're set in an area, say Victoria, London, you're going to use the muted color scheme and the city itself as a character that Mike Mignola presents with his work of shadow and whatnot, as Batman combs the alleyways of Gotham to try to figure out who Jack the Ripper is, all the while trying to prove that Bruce Wayne is innocent, as Gotham PD sees signs and clues that point that Bruce Wayne could be the killer. It's a very thought-provoking, serious, more mature read for you. It's not for the kids. Not because of the violence, but more, it involves a lot more reading than just showing the pictures. It's a graphic novel, per se, as opposed to a comic book. Now, the Blu-ray has more in common with the animated series than it does the book itself. It's not to say it doesn't have the bullet points, such as the Jack the Ripper and Bruce Wayne being charged, but it takes out some characters. One character in particular that's very important to the book, and more or less puts in more of the Bat family. Like Selena Kyle's in the movie now. You have three orphans that are like Oliver-esque on the streets, going by the name Jason, Dick, and Tim. Hint, hint. And Harvey Dent's in it. Jim Gordon's given a bigger role, and the design is still fantastic. I just wish that they used more Mignola inspired animation, more Mignola color techniques, more shadows and whatnot. It's not to say that Batman himself, who's portrayed by Bruce Greenwood, isn't sort of inspired by the Mignola with his chin and whatever, and the outfit looking bulky, but still, this movie has more roots in the animated series than it does the book. And though it has an R rating, I do wish it was more in line with the book. It's more adventure, more fighting than cerebral. If you're going to make an R-rated cartoon, it's not that hard to take a leap and involve the book. So if you're going to call yourself Gotham by Gaslight, involve the book a bit more. Use a plot. Use the story techniques. I mean, you did it with the last half of Killing Joke. You did it with The Dark Knight Returns. I mean, is it really that hard of a nut to crack with adapt the book fully? No. And they take the character out who's Jack the Ripper in the book and give it to someone else who purists won't like. Myself especially, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Because there's one or two scenes early on where the person who's the Ripper has a nightmare about his wife being killed by the Ripper, and it doesn't make any sense because he's fully cognizant it's Ripper. So I don't get it. But not saying it's a bad film. It's watchable. It's good, but it could be better. It could be, you know, if it followed the book a bit more. Besides, just like I said, the bullet points of the Ripper, Wayne being the suspect and trying to figure out who the Ripper is. That's really good. And Senator Victoria Gotham, but I'll give it 3 out of 4. But could be better. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the Gotham by Gaslight Blu-ray. Thank you to the book for giving some leverage. Appreciate it. So thank you guys for watching. Maybe I'll do some more reviews on the line. Who knows? But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Got other stuff besides the movie reviews, like action figure reviews, movie reviews, obviously. And we're trying to work comic books more into it, so we'll see how that goes. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time, guys.